This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 16, episode number 3,578. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, Ryan Castle joins us from his basement studio dungeon bar, and once again, we will sit and spin. Today, a live day solid gold 70s sit and spin with the 10 worst songs of the 70s. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shout of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV Time with Ted. Clack. All right, here we go. Maryland mayor arrested after posting ex-girlfriend's naked pics on Reddit multiple times, like 50. Meanwhile, a Florida woman blames an egg roll for her DUI and drug-related crimes. Rocket. Family on Italian vacation didn't expect their daughter to get gonorrhea from a hot spring. Deer gets hit by a car and then takes himself to the hospital, of all things. And a Florida man rides his bike under a parking lot gate and then sues when it comes down and smacks him in the head. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, all of us, everyone has their own way of doing things, you know. Now, some people might find it odd, weird, comical, or even offensive, but we do what we do because it works for us. For example, Kenny G, known for the tune Songbird and his absurd hair, he admits that he only washes his absurd hair once every 3 weeks. That's about 17 times a year. All right. Then there's The Rock, as in Dwayne Johnson, not KISW. In a recent interview with Esquire, he admitted that he pees in water bottles at the gym. Now, personally, I get it. I don't think it's that weird. It would be weird if he peed in other people's water bottles. But still, some people, they think it's kind of bizarre. And maybe it is. I don't know. But I do think that shaving one's ass, I think that's bizarre. I don't think it's bad, but I do think it's bizarre. Well, Joe Rogan, of Joe Rogan fame, he shaves his ass, and it's his ass, so he can shave it if he wants to. But he revealed on his podcast that while shaving his ass, he also discovered that he's flexible enough to pleasure himself orally. Now, he claims that he doesn't do it, but he could, which tells me that he has. Whatever. But look, celebrities don't own the market on weird habits, of course. A woman in Wales, she eats 1 sponge a week. Well, she used to eat 1 sponge a week. She stopped buying sponges, you see, because she keeps eating them. And then there's a 17-year-old girl in the UK. She keeps eating her own hair. And some people do that. But she had to have surgery to remove a 19-inch hairball from her stomach. Yep. But as the saying goes, you do you. And let's face it, in your life, you meet a lot of people, and they do them. So today, we want you to answer this men's room fill-in-the-blank question. The weirdest thing someone I know does is blank.
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
En Lowe's tenemos grandes inventarios disponibles en cientos de productos que los profesionales necesitan todos los días, como tejas, concreto, madera y más. Y ahora te los entregamos al día siguiente directamente en tu obra. Empieza hoy y ordena en línea o visita el mostrador para pros en tiendas. Disponible de lunes a sábado en artículos selectos en inventario solo en el área metropolitana de Charlotte, sujeto a disponibilidad. Para pedidos hechos antes de las 4 p.m. Más detalles en el mostrador para pros.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW.
Over Charles and away we go. Welcome to Season 16, Episode number 3578. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Once again, we'll welcome in Ryan Castle. He'll join us from his basement studio dungeon bar. And once again, we will sit and spin. And today, a live day, solid gold 70s sit and spin. We have for you the 10 worst songs of the 70s.
You're welcome.
Now, if you're joining us for Live Day at Snoqualmie Casino on Thursday, of course, we are celebrating the solid gold 70s. I have a feeling that none of these songs will be featured Thursday if you are joining us at Snoqualmie, either for BJ and Miggs or our show in the afternoon. As you know, everything will be completely live. I don't think we could find a band that would be willing to play any of these songs in public.
No, and they shouldn't.
Absolutely. Music is live. Commercials are live. Sound effects. Nothing is pre-recorded. We will see you at Snoqualmie on Thursday for Live Day. It's the only time we get to celebrate 50 years of KISW. So this is our one party for the year until whenever. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you after that. I mean, hopefully next year we'll have a Red Festival. Let's hope that things are normal enough to be able to do that.
I mean, we can maybe do Red Festival next year, but like no one's excited to celebrate your 51st.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's like your 33rd birthday. Nobody cares. You're 30, you're 35. That's it. That's all that matters.
By the way, tickets are still available at KISW.com for the morning and the afternoon. So if you want to try to sneak in there, do so now, KISW.com.
Yeah.
You can buy those tickets for the morning or the afternoon. You can buy the entire day. And we look forward to seeing those people who've been there for the entire day. Because we always know when we come on stage, you definitely see two types of people out there.
Yeah.
The people that have been there all day and the people that have just got there for the afternoon trying to catch up with the people that have been there all day.
In other words, 8 hours of drinks versus maybe 30 minutes of drinks.
Yeah.
Very easy to tell the difference.
Exactly. Yeah, you know who is who. You're like, I've been here. I know you've been here since 5:30.
We know you just showed me your boobs. Exactly. Didn't that happen last time we were there? Yeah, like we were doing the show and the chick just pops up.
I wasn't on stage.
You actually were not on stage. You were wrangling contestants for Big W.
Damn it!
Yeah, and she jumped up. And there's her boobs. Like been here all day.
So we'll go solid gold 70s, but the worst song of the 70s. And honest to God, if you are a music aficionado, if you like any kind of music, whatever the genre is, there is no worse decade in music, in my opinion, than the 70s. I know what people say, oh, the 80s were this and that. Yeah, but the 80s had some originality to it. I mean, it might not be the sounds that you hear now.
I disagree with you. I think it's this. No. The 70s did a lot of different types of music.
A lot of great music from the 70s.
but they threw everything against the wall to see what stuck, and I believe we're going to play the 10 songs that just didn't.
You got to remember, the Osmonds were on television.
They were.
The Brady Bunch made albums back then.
Partridge Family, all that stuff,
All that stuff was in the 70s. So, I mean, that was terrible.
You also had disco, bro. You had Bee Gees. Come on, what are you talking about?
The end of the era, in my mind, the 70s started out very slow, with a lot more
You
folk
had
singers.
Black Sabbath. Yes, you also had Joan Baez, but you had Black Sabbath.
You do. That's what I'm saying. There's great music in the 70s. We are not featuring any of that.
None of that, no. We will not do that.
There's great music in every decade, but I don't think there's as much bad stuff.
I would agree with that part.
As the 70s decade. So, yeah. Solid gold 70s today.
I don't know the 50s. I don't like the 50s, man.
In the 80s.
Yeah, but the 80s was one big party. Like, you almost forgive the 80s. Even the hair metal bands, right? They were stupid. They were terrible. It was just pop. But it was all a good time, man.
Right.
Like
there's a lot of ballads.
when you think of like Madness.
There was a lot of ballads.
Every decade has bad. These are the terrible ones from the 70s.
Well, the 80s.
The 80s doesn't get off.
Okay,
easy.
here's what happens in the 80s. In the 80s, you have a Brit pop invasion.
Sure.
So you have sounds like you have Madness, Our House, which is whatever. You have,
Duran, all that kind of stuff.
Men Without Hats doing the safety dance. It's not necessarily the greatest stuff in the world, but it's not horrible. Aha, Take On Me, very different. Not horrible. But then with the popular bands you knew from the 70s, who were really strong, they got into a weird pop mode. Jefferson Airplane
went to Starship.
Jefferson Starship.
We built this city.
Yeah.
We built.
Right. Steve Miller was doing Abracadabra. Like, all the bands that were cool in the 70s somehow lost their minds.
I agree with that, for
in
sure.
In the 80s, as far as their musical styles go and everything. But also some of the most popular tunes in those artists' careers. Happened in the 80s.
Doesn't mean, look, again, I want to say We Built the City is the biggest tune ever for Starship.
Number one.
It is not their best song. It's probably the worst song of their entire catalog.
More than likely, yes. But it's their biggest song. Mm-hmm. Steve Miller Band, man. I mean, you could listen to Steve Miller Band for 20 songs and know every song. Now, realize you know them all by the title, but you can listen to them and go, oh, I know the song. You know, I mean, this is a good. Steve Miller's only number one song was Abracadabra.
Because he wanted to reach out and grab you. You try to rhyme someone to Abracadabra.
Like
I give him credit for that.
Styx was rocking. And then, the Dynasty Young era came in with the 80s. And it was just.
That's about Dennis. It's not about Styx.
Mr. Roboto and all these things. That was their biggest hit, was in the 80s. Even though, they had a full catalog of great music before that crap came out. So, yeah, we're going to sit and spin coming up. By the way, as we do every Monday through Friday, we will once again head over to the Odyssey app for the Men's Room Happy Hour. It is exclusively on the Odyssey app. If you don't have that downloaded now, it's absolutely free. Hundreds of different channels on there, by the way. Check out any of our podcasts. But on the Men's Room Happy Hour channel, that only goes live at 6 o'clock when we leave these airwaves and head on over to the Odyssey app. And we are not governed by the FCC. So keep in mind, this is not a family-friendly program. I would suggest if you want to listen to it around your children, have headphones on. That's the...
Even then, turn it down, man.
Yeah.
Your kids do not need to hear the things we talk about at 6 o'clock.
No, but it's a good time. So we hope you can join us today. We'll return to Man vs. Beast coming up on the Men's Room Happy Hour today. And our question, we're going to Men's Room Blank Question, inspired by a number of stories that have popped up here within the past week. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, we know for a fact that he can do no wrong. This is a guy that I don't know. I think if he ran for president of the United States, he'd almost win the damn thing, just based on the fact that it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah. I even got to my kids, because first he played, the movie's Moana. I don't know the name of his goddamn character, but they loved who his character was. And I'm like, actually, it's this big giant guy named The Rock. Then he put out a movie earlier this year called Jungle Cruise or something like that. Anyway, I had to watch that with the kids. They didn't realize it was the same dude, but my son's like, I love that guy. I said, dude, everyone loves that guy.
Yeah.
That's The Rock. He's like, that's The Rock. I'm like, that's The Rock.
Even if you just follow him on social media, you can see his cheat meals, working out. If you like him from wrestling, he's a legend in the wrestling world. He's probably grossed more at the box office.
He is one of the wealthiest. Yeah, absolutely.
Than any actor
without doing
within
good
the
movies.
last few decades.
Mike and I love him because he bought the XFL. Yeah. That's right. We're XFL apologists.
Right. I mean, the guy's got his hand in a lot of... It's very difficult to find someone who goes, I don't like that guy.
No, I'm sure they'll text me in 2 minutes.
Right.
But they probably have to know him.
Right.
You know what? I bet he's not a bad guy. And that's another thing.
But just anybody.
Vin Diesel doesn't like him.
Right. There you go. Right. I was like, there's a time. I don't care who you are. Somebody doesn't like you.
But the people like Vin Diesel. That was always my... I understand they got whatever beef going back and forth. I'm like, that's great. People have problems, but I've heard more negative things about Vin Diesel than I have about The Rock.
Sure.
For sure.
The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is famous for getting into little feuds with people that are obviously all in jest and fun. And a lot of the times it's either Hugh Jackman, someone who's starring in a movie or whatever.
Right.
He's doing something with The Rock these days, and they put there was a giant Netflix billboard that was up for whatever they were doing, and it was in Hollywood. Well, The Rock decides that he is going to put up a giant banner over the top of this Netflix billboard that says, Ryan Reynolds steals his mom's Netflix account.
Oh, no.
Or something to that effect. You know what I mean? It was, and that's just the kind of thing because he knew, I guess, the route that he would take if he was driving someplace.
Sure,
or whatever the deal was. So he just punked him with a billboard and, all in good fun. But anyway,
Moana, the movie character's Maui. Okay, thank you. It didn't matter to me. I just couldn't remember his name.
They say file this under things we don't need to know about Dwayne Johnson. He opened up in a new interview about the reason he chooses to pee in a water bottle when he's at the gym. Ted, did you read the story? Do you have any idea why he does this?
Yeah, well, he's talking about some of the gyms he goes to. There's not bathrooms in there.
And you go
Is
to
that normal?
Not that you don't have a bathroom in your gym, but you got to go more to a gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's not a lot of messing around. There's like a TV. It's tiny.
Yeah, but
there's still a bathroom. I mean, I wouldn't. But I have a feeling he's in there for like 4 hours.
Right. He works out different than people that you
This
know
is not
who
a
work
gym
out.
that has a locker room with showers and
Right.
saunas.
He's not going to any major gym you've heard of.
He's going to a place where you like roll tires in the parking lot and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're messing with the battle rope.
Places that rock you would train.
Push
man.
sleds, stuff like that. He says, well, yeah, the headline's actually true. I do pee in my water bottles. But let me give context to that. In the Esquire interview, he says, because everyone's, they are leaning in now to what this means. It's not a water bottle that I've actually purchased solely for water that you wash out and you clean when you're done using it. These are just bottles that I'm no longer using. And usually the gyms that I work out in, they don't have a bathroom. There's no bathroom in there. It's just hot, sweaty, and dirty. I usually stay pretty hydrated. I need to go to the bathroom a lot. Not a lot, but probably a couple times during every workout. I got to go to the bathroom, so I break out the bottle. Johnson first divulged the unusual habit during an Instagram video back in 2017. Because why? There was a water bottle of urine that was visible in the video. And he said, I just realized y'all just saw my big bottle of pee. Oh, look, I go hardcore when I train. I don't have time to go to the bathroom. I find a bottle, I pee in it, and I keep training like a beast. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
I asked Ted this yesterday, all right? So people sell all kinds of things on eBay, right? There was Kanye did a concert in Atlanta, and someone trapped, quote-unquote, some air from that concert. So it was just air in the bottle, and they sold it for whatever, right? There was somebody's chewed gum sold for a bunch of money. How much money do you think you could get if you could authenticate? If The Rock goes, yeah, that's my pee in that bottle. And you go, man, I got a full bottle of Rock pee. I'm selling this for, what's your starting price? I'm saying you'd get up to $15,000 to $20,000.
No.
Yes.
I say you start bidding at it $500.
You can start the bidding there. I'm saying you end up
Could you take anything out of it to make you stronger?
What you could do is go and drug test it and find out what he's on and then start taking
Well,
whatever
I'm saying if I have the Rock's urine, like maybe I could like break it down in some kind of scientist machine and then inject it into myself and become as strong as the Rock.
I hear what you're saying. I'm going to go Miles' route. Maybe just have someone say, hey, here's the steroid he uses. But I'm telling you, you get $15,000, $20,000 for it. It's a bot, man.
Yeah, it's just hard to wrap my mind around buying somebody's pee.
Okay, but
Yes, it is.
But
it's The Rock's pee.
Think about this. At one point in time, when I was in the Boy Scouts, I believe that was the time, Mike, we were helping with the local Rotary Club. Now, the Rotary Club, they did one of those Adopt a Highway programs, and we had teamed up with them for the year. And we went 2 or 3 times along I-79, which is close to where I grew up, and we would clean all the trash off the side of the road. And that was just part of our project.
Did you ever do that as an Eagle Scout?
Bags and bags and bags of stuff.
Eagle Scouts don't have to do that stuff.
And you got to remember, this was in the 80s. Not that littering wasn't frowned upon, but much more different attitude toward doing that.
Sure.
At the time. So people would just take their fast food bags, throw them out the window. I mean, you name it. But what you would
Diapers,
find,
anything.
You would find more than anything were what truckers call, I think, pea grenades. Mm-hmm. And they were bottles, you recognize it. It was a Coke bottle, or a Gatorade bottle, and it was filled with urine.
Milk jugs.
Now, as far as, any profession, okay, outside of being a long-haul truck driver, I cannot think of a job where you regularly pee in a bottle, not only just throw it out the window and dispose of it, but you actually pee in a bottle. Like even coal mines, they have bathrooms. No matter
For
what,
real?
Well, they've got porta potties, absolutely. So you need to go number 1, number 2. You're in 2 or 3 hours deep.
Sure, right.
They have them in there. So to any other profession, Like, I don't know if you've ever peed in a bottle driving down the road.
Yes.
I've done it twice. You can get it done. It is a weird thing to do because you're constantly looking to see how much you filled up. Am I spilling? It's a strange position to pee in because you're seated.
But it depends on the bottle, because if it's a water bottle, it's difficult just for aim. But like a Gatorade bottle, you can just stuff your day in there and go. It's not so bad.
But it's weird also to use the bathroom in your car.
Yes, it is.
It'd almost be like saying, like, look, even if you walked into your living room, pulled down your pants, and peed in a bottle, okay? It's going to be weird. Mm-hmm. Even if you're home by yourself.
I'll try it tonight.
It's going to take you a little bit of time. You know what I mean? You're going to have to think your way through this. Okay.
Didn't we hear crane operators also have to...
that's the only job, like looking up at that crane right now, that's the only other job that comes top of mind where, like, you pee in bottles.
Okay, but if you told me you peed in a bottle at work, that would be an unusual behavior.
Right.
Compared to most people in their professions. I understand why.
No, the difference is this. The crane operator is physically at work. We understand you're not going to climb up and down a ladder to pee. The Rock just does it. He's technically not working. He's just training. He said, this is voluntary. He just does it to do it.
We should do this at Live Day.
You know what?
Yeah.
Live Day. We're all peeing in bottles.
I'm still impressed that he's that hydrated. Or he's got to be working out that long.
Well, that's what he said.
I sweat like a bastard when I lift, but I don't really have to pee.
He said he's got to pee all day because he stays hydrated.
Yes.
That's hydrated.
All right, let's jump over to Mercer Island, probably Hollywood Hills at this point.
By the way, someone here says that if you, in fact, had a bottle of the Rock's pee, they believe you could get anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000.
I don't think it's going to be that high. It's still someone else. Look, he is the most popular guy.
People bid on air from a concert, not even like directly out of Kanye's mouth or something. I mean, like, this is just air in the, Georgia Dome or something?
Maybe somebody like Justin Bieber, or who has a huge fan base.
I'm trying to think he would get more money for Justin Bieber?
I don't know.
We got 5 bottles of urine, all right? I got Justin Bieber. I got The Rock. We'll even take Taylor Swift to probably go for number 1 right now. Who else is that big? Where you say
one of the dudes from BTS?
All right.
Okay.
Harry Styles.
And Harry Styles.
Harry Styles.
Who do you think goes for the most?
I want Harry Styles because that bottle has a dress on.
I know. I saw that.
I still think it would be Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I just don't think it would be that high.
I don't know, man.
I really feel like if we were purveyors of bottled celebrity urine, right? So we are your resource for celebrity urine. I'm telling you, man, if people knew that you could get your hands on it, I think they would bid as high as maybe $40,000.
I can't imagine being in the middle of, like, I don't know, shoulder presses and look over and there's The Rock with his D in a Gatorade bottle. You know what I mean? It'd be weird. I'm going to have to call my friend.
Yes, that'd be weird.
You're not going to believe this. I'm in the gym, right? I'm working out. Who walks in? Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's in there for about an hour, whips out his junk, sticks it in a Gatorade bottle, uses the bathroom, caps it off, puts the bottle in the corner.
That's why it'd be worth money. The fact that you need to call your friend just to say, hey, not some random dude.
This is a behavior that I witnessed.
This is The Rock.
But you said it earlier, like, he's working out in, like, gyms where, like, if you're not a bodybuilder or a power lifter, you wouldn't even be in there. So maybe this is just standard stuff. And it's not as crowded. You just sneak behind the squat rack and
do you dispose of that in the garbage?
Sure.
I mean, do you pour it down the sink and then rinse it out and put it in recycling? Where does this bottle go?
Yeah, does he recycle?
I mean, ideally, he should pour it. Well, he says there's not a toilet, so I guess
he says he rinses it out. That's what I'm saying. When you go outside and pour it in the bushes and then rinse it out in the sink?
Just dump it out there.
Okay. All right, let's head over to Mercer Island or wherever he is, Hollywood, California. Does Kenny G, it says the story, have sexy or saxy hair?
Ooh. Oh, God.
Whichever it is, he only washes it once every how often? Any guesses on how often Kenny G washes his hair?
Once a week.
Once a week. He's got a lot of hair.
He does. I'm going to say it's once every 2 weeks. You got to take care of that hair and let it kind of have its own natural oils.
Yes.
I know it because I read the story. His hair is part of who he is, right?
3 weeks.
Aye.
Which I think if you asked anybody with hair, they would say that's longer than most people go without washing their hair.
I would think so.
Yeah, he says, quote, it doesn't get dirty. I'm a clean guy. Now, you're probably wondering what he uses to keep his hair healthy. It won't break your bank. His regimen includes Pantene shampoo and conditioner.
All right.
And a curl-defining cream. Kenny says, quote, unfortunately, I don't have any endorsements, so I don't gain anything by using them, other than they're the right thing for my hair. He's got a documentary called Listening to Kenny G coming to HBO on December 2nd, and a new album called New Standards coming out on December 3rd. So Kenny G is still making music, but not washing his hair as often as he's making new music.
By the way, regarding peeing in a bottle, Miles, military folks wanted to let you know they pee in bottles all the time. toll booth attendants, they're peeing in bottles. A lot of mail carriers peeing in bottles, and they seem upset that somehow we did not add Adele and Beyonce to the we have a bottle of their pee list.
Maybe Amazon delivery drivers or people doing, Uber drivers, people who don't really, you can't be a customer everywhere you go if you need to use the bathroom in your car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not just going to walk in. Half the time you can't even walk into a fast food place now. So, our question, men's room blank style. The weirdest thing someone I know does is blank. 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
En Lowe's tenemos grandes inventarios disponibles en cientos de productos que los profesionales necesitan todos los días, como tejas, concreto, madera y más. Y ahora te los entregamos al día siguiente directamente en tu obra. Empieza hoy y ordena en línea o visita el mostrador para pros en tiendas. Disponible de lunes a sábado en artículos selectos en inventario solo en el área metropolitana de Charlotte, sujeto a disponibilidad. Para pedidos hechos antes de las 4 p.m. Más detalles en el mostrador para pros.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
Our men's room blank question. The weirdest thing someone I know does is blank. 206-421-ROCK. You learn a lot from people when you live with them.
Absolutely.
My one roommate who would use the bathroom, go number 2, and then refused to flush until he was done with his shower. All right. He would always forget that he went number 2.
I did this for a minute, okay? Like in the morning before work, I take a dump, then I'm like, I don't want to flush because I want to get in the shower. It affects, the cold, hot water thing. So I forgot maybe 3 times in the course of a year. And based on the angry texts I'd get from my wife here at work, I now will flush the toilet and just go ahead and brush my teeth, do other things. But I make it a point now because I too would also forget. My wife's just like, you've got to be kidding me.
There was one more weird aspect to this about my roommate, Chad, who I took his car over a cliff. Chad would wake up every morning and habitually, this was his routine every single day. It did not matter if it was Monday through Friday, the weekend, whatever. He started every day with a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios. Like a 2-year-old eating out of a bag in the car, he would eat Honey Nut Cheerios, all right? But he would take them in with him as soon as he went into the bathroom. So when you would walk in there would also be a bowl of milk and a few floating Cheerios. He would eat in the bathroom when he was on the toilet. It was a part of his routine when he was in there. He was also one of those guys who shaved every day.
Yeah.
He just felt like he needed to shave every day. So he would shave, he would eat, he would crap, he would do all these things in the bathroom. And to me, the idea of bringing food into the bathroom. Now, I've been guilty of it before.
It's like you had a slice of pizza on a urinal. And
I did. And as I'm saying, I've been guilty of this. But it was so weird that it was a daily thing. Like, that was not the norm. Basically, what happened was that I was starving. I had a piece of pizza. I knew I needed to go to the bathroom. Where we were in the Hard Rock, the nearest bathroom was literally 300 yards away.
Right.
You know what I mean? So basically, and I had to go, and I had the pizza, and then that bathroom, then that corridor went all the way. I mean, it was a long way to get to the room. So I figured, look, I'm not going to make it to the room. I'm just going to stop here. I just got my pizza. I need to pee. I got a beer in one hand. I got a pizza in the other. So I decided just to walk in to the men's room, all right? Now, believe it or not, they had a shelf, above the urinal where you could set things, drinks, whatever. Put the pizza up there. Put the beer up there. I started using the bathroom. I'm looking at the pizza. It's kind of falling off the paper plate a little bit. The cheese is hot and melting. I just bought it. So I picked it up and I took a bite. And then I took about another bite. And then I realized there's a dude standing beside me looking at me at the urinal. And I'm like, hey, man, think you're Jesse James Dupree from Jackals. He's like, yep. It's like, how you doing, man? Got a mouthful of pizza?
Your D in your hand.
Yeah. D in my hand. Still thought it was weird, though, that he ate cereal in the bathroom in the morning.
Yeah, that's weird.
Eating anything in a bathroom's gross.
Especially if you're pooping. I mean, my God, man. Eating Honey Nut Cheerios while I'm sitting on the toilet.
I think the only thing I consume in a bathroom is a beer in the shower.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should also note that the door to the bathroom is open the entire time. The bathroom sits off of the living room in this apartment. So no matter what he was doing, if he was using the bathroom, shaving, brushing his teeth, showering, whatever he was doing, the bathroom door was always open. I just found that to be one of the weirdest things ever.
That is just because, look... I understand
he didn't
that
care
when you have
about
roommates,
nudity or anything like that.
It's not that. It's just, look, I don't care about nudity, none of that kind of thing. You know, obviously, I'm with my wife. She's seen me naked a few times. But when we're pooping, but even when I'm peeing, the door might be cracked. I don't care.
I don't care.
Right? Same with her, right? It might be cracked. You know what they're doing in the bathroom when that thing is closed all the way because if nothing else, you just want some privacy when you poop. I feel like that is absolutely, universally the most private time.
I think there's definitely an age, though, that Miles is talking about. Like when I lived in that row house in Baltimore, it didn't matter. The bathroom door was always open.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And it was at the top of the stairs. So if somebody was dropping a deuce, like when you got up the stairs, you'd be like, oh, there's his penis.
But just close the door, man. I don't care what you poop, and just close the door. We're not trying to share this experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You definitely learn, but I'm telling you, all you need to do is live with someone. And people don't realize what they do, others might think is odd because it's normal behavior to them.
Well, you don't know. Even with kids, man, you know, like you try to raise your kids. So my kids, generally speaking, follow the same way my wife and I live, right? It's what they know. And maybe it'll be weird to people later. I don't know. But the one thing that I find absolutely insane is my daughter. Someone here even comments. They say, my wife eats the toppings of pizza item by item before eating the crust and even bites peanut M&Ms in half. So that's the thing of my daughter, and I can't. She's always done this, and I understood when she was younger, and you don't get logistics. She's 11 years old now and still does this. She loves pizza, as most kids do, but when you hand her a slice of pizza, and I was telling my wife, look, her first date, I'm going to pay for them to go out as long as he agrees to take her to a pizza place, because if he can get through this, then he might be a keeper. So she takes her slice of pizza, as we all would, right? Crust in your fingers, the point is toward your mouth. Now take it and turn it upside down for no particular reason other than that's what you do. Well, let me start at the beginning. It's a slice of pepperoni pizza. Eat each slice of pepperoni first. That is first. Some people do that. Then eat the cheese off first or second, all right? But you pull it off. You physically take your fingers, pull the cheese. That's how she eats every slice of pizza. Then you grab this triangle, this naked triangle where there's only sauce in the crust. Hold it like a normal slice, turn it upside down, and then start eating. And this is just what she does.
So she eats the crust first?
No, she eats the pepperoni first.
Well, I mean,
then she eats the cheese. No, she doesn't eat the crust first. She just eats the wedge upside down, but there's no toppings on it. And it drives me, it shouldn't, but it drives me absolutely crazy because to me, this is so unnatural. I'm like, this is pizza. Like, no one needs instructions for how to eat pizza. You know, if you hand a slice of pizza...
Have you ever seen someone eat pizza with a fork and knife?
I've seen that.
Well, sure.
I don't agree with it, but they still know how to eat pizza. But my daughter, I mean, she is like contorting her arm to eat this thing upside down. I don't get it. And it's never stopped. And finally, I just said, look, her first date, I'm paying for the guy to buy her pizza. Because he can sit there and watch this. He's going to lose his mind. And if he can deal with it, then maybe he's a good guy. And it's gotten to the point, and I'm not kidding, I will order pizza from home. We will not go out to get pizza.
Because you don't want to watch it, or you're afraid someone else is going to see her?
I don't want to watch it, and it takes too long because she does not eat quickly. So while everyone else has put down 2 or 3 slices of pizza, she's still on slice number 1 because she's so meticulous about removing the pepperoni. And it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you say you're in a hurry. It doesn't matter if you say, hey, man, we already got the check. Let's move this along. It doesn't matter if you say everyone's waiting for dessert if you just finish the slice. She eats at 1 speed, which is like driving 12 miles an hour. And she will eat it the way she's going to goddamn eat it. And truly, it drives me out of my effing mind. But I don't have the heart to tell them.
Do you not order pizza as much because of this?
Again, if we are out, I won't do it. Like, seriously. If we're like, hey, we're going to go out, we're going to grab something to eat. Kids get excited. We're going to a restaurant. Can we go to a pizza place? I'm like, no. No, we're not going to a pizza place. I won't do it. And I don't have the heart to tell because your sister eats like a goddamn freak. I can't say that. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, no, we are not getting pizza. And I can't stand to watch it. I don't know why it drives me up a freaking wall.
You ever know that person that ate it crust first?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. At least that's you're still eating it at the same speed as the rest of us, but it is weird.
Right. Okay, well, here's my thing. Back to the same room. Hey, Chad, all right? We would order from Dr. Pizza, okay? He wouldn't eat the crust. So he would be on piece like number 2 or 3. Well, like what Steve said, I'm still a piece and a half in because he doesn't eat the crust. So he just throws the crust back in the box.
But he ends up eating more pizza.
But he eats all, yes, right. He's eating more pieces, but he's not eating the crust. So he's going through the better pieces, you know what I mean?
I am guilty of that.
You don't eat the crust?
I do more now. But sometimes if I'm home by myself and get like a pizza, I won't eat the crust.
By yourself is fine.
That's fine.
We are splitting.
I know. I'm just saying, for years, though, I didn't eat the crust on any pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's things you can do. Like, I don't like the crust of all pizza, but sometimes if you know the crust kind of sucks, you'll save a bigger piece of the initial wedge and kind of fold that over on the crust.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, the standard. But yeah, like, man, if we're sharing a pizza like that, you've had 4 slices of pizza. I'm only on my second. It's not because you're eating faster. You're not eating all of it, man.
Yeah, like if there's 8 slices of pizza in the pizza box.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
How many people?
3.
2 people.
All right, so we each get 4.
And Chad, there was 8 slices of pizza, right? We each get 4.
Correct.
Well, he's on number 5.
Well, see, I wouldn't cross over to your slice.
Because he doesn't, like the crust is the filling part of the pizza. Yeah. He's just throwing that back in the box and picking up another piece, just eating it to the sauce line and then throwing it back in
the sauce line, yeah.
You know what I mean? What I call the sauce line.
Dude, I had a buddy, his friend would order a pizza from Papa John's. And he would eat the whole pizza and not the crust.
Okay.
And then at the end, he'd save the garlic sauce, right? It gets weirder, though. But then he'd eat all the crust and then just shoot the garlic sauce.
What?
Right, like you're expecting him to save it, to dip it.
Yeah. Right.
No.
Really?
I don't know why.
That doesn't even sound healthy. By the way, someone here says, I have a full-on man beard and mustache. I have to use a fork to eat pizza. No, you don't, ma'am.
It depends on the pizza. Sometimes
Chicago deep dish, absolute.
Well, sometimes even if it's thin crust, it's so sloppy or like the cheese won't stay on. Like I might use a knife and fork, but it's very, very rare.
Yeah, you're right. It depends on the pizza.
Me and Ted say this all the time. I don't care if you're eating everything bagel, if you're eating sushi and the soy sauce. Like, things are just going to disappear in the beard, man. Your beard is the Bermuda Triangle of food that you see.
But I eat pizza. Like you got to wipe a lot. You know what I mean? Or you eat barbecue or you got to wipe a lot.
Cheese in your beard. I know I do.
You ever seen someone eat McDonald's French fries with a fork? That was a mind-blowing experience. Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. With a plastic fork.
Who is this bougie bastard?
Joe Ruth used to eat McDonald's. He put it on the tray, and he'd just sit there and he'd stab him and jam like 9 of them into his mouth. That's all he ate.
You only eat fries with a fork if it's got gravy or cheese on it.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
And even then, it's not necessary. And he didn't dunk it in ketchup either. Like, it wasn't for the reason of like putting as much ketchup on there. He ate everything overhanded with a fork. For the most part.
Was it like Martha Stewart's son or something like that?
Dude was huge. I mean, he would get a huge thing of fries, man, and just use the fork, big-ass mouthfuls of it. That's
Did you ever say anything? There's certain things I know you can't say to people, but I say something about that.
Oh, of course I did.
The French fries.
You don't need a fork in McDonald's.
It's called finger food.
You shouldn't even be eating a salad there. You know, there's no reason. The salads at McDonald's are finger food. You should be able to eat that with your fingers, too.
Well, and you get to lick your fingers, get the salt off.
Weirdest thing someone I know does is blank 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Angel. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, muchachos.
Hola.
Okay, I got a story for you guys. It's not that somebody was doing it. We were all doing it. And this happened when I was in Desert Storm. Okay. We were in a combat situation. We had a 100-hour kind of aggressive movement towards the Republican Army of Iraq. And we had to stay inside the vehicle. So, we had to poop. So we had an MRE box. We put a plastic bag. And right next to all my buddies, we all just squatted in there, poop, tied it up, opened the latch door, and threw it out in the desert of Iraq.
From what I've heard about the MREs, they simply repackage it and give it back to you.
Exactly.
But
my buddy, Indio Ramirez from Manhattan, New York, he's a New Yorican. When we used to use the toilets in Yakima, he used to finish, and then he flush, and then he rolled some tissue and wet the tissue in the water, in the bowl.
All right.
And wipe with it. And we all thought that was weird.
Ew! No!
The rest of us are Puerto Ricans from the island, but he was Puerto Rican from New York. We all thought it was a New York thing.
He's a J-Lo Puerto Rican.
I guess so. Anyway, that's my story.
Okay.
I mean, look, man, if you're in a combat situation in the desert of a foreign country,
I understand.
Absolutely. Yeah. But so you're pooping in a box, we get it. But I bet you if you're in a combat situation in the desert of Iraq and you saw your buddy eating a pizza like crust first or doesn't, you'd still be like, that's wrong, dude.
See, I still believe the rules of warfare should be, even if I get out of that vehicle and go like to a sand dune or whatever and cop a squat, that the person who is the enemy, he can't shoot me then. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I just think there should be some kind of weird etiquette rule where if you just gotta wait for me to be done.
Your roll of toilet paper is kind of like a white flag. Like,
I mean, honest to God. Like,
you can shoot me dead, just let me poop first.
Right. Like, and the actual act of it.
I mean, even if I'm hunting, we got ourselves a big old, give him a second, dude. He's pooping.
Right.
Like, I'll shoot him in the head. It's not that. It's going to end the same.
He's taking a crap.
Give them the dignity of pooping.
Everyone needs peace when they're pooping. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what the situation is. It should just be common knowledge that you get to poop in peace. I'm sorry.
I think that's
obviously,
universal.
if you have kids, that's a crazy thing to say.
Understood.
But
I feel like the UN should
in
meet.
adult situations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the UN should get together and say, look, war happens. We understand. It's a ruthless, bloody, terrible business. But if someone's taking a dump, give them a second.
That's why I use the lobby of a hotel if I'm staying with somebody a lot of the time. You have two dudes go on a weekend, whatever, you know what I mean? You grab a hotel room somewhere. Even if you're sleeping in the same room, if he's in a bathroom, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go downstairs, poop in the lobby. It's one of the greatest secret places ever. Like, you don't bother anybody. You can blow the damn
Always
thing up.
fewer people in there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you're being courteous.
Right.
But I do it, too, with my brother. In a war zone, I don't care if he's pooping or not.
No.
We got to get the hell out of here.
Weirdest thing someone I know does is blank 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, somebody says, full beard and mustache here. I eat all kinds of messy stuff. That's what napkins or paper towels are for.
Yeah.
You freaking heathens. I agree, man.
You just use a lot more of them. It's all right.
You use a ton of them because, like you said, things disappear into the beard. And Ted, you were right, man. Barbecue. That is one. Love barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
You grab a rib, you see something drip off, but it doesn't hit your plate. Doesn't hit your clothes. It's just gone. And you're like, it is in my beard somewhere. And sometimes even when you wipe, there's still no evidence
Well, the
of
worst is when you wipe, right? And then, like, I'm just smearing it around the side of my beard.
You know, yeah, but let's be honest, right? If you got a big old beard and you eat food and some kind of sauce drips in it and you go to wipe it away, it only bothers you a little bit that you haven't really wiped it out. As long as no one can see it, right?
No, it's just annoying.
It is, but
so
also,
you keep wiping and wiping, and before you know it, you're out of napkins. You're like, I need more napkins. Like, sir, you only had 6 chicken wings.
It's like, no, I know that, but I have to. Did your computer just crap out too?
Oh, it's gone, yeah. Completely gone.
Yeah, we're kind of screwed right now.
Say what?
Yeah.
All right, so both of our screens went to black, Mike, for no particular reason.
Mm-hmm. No. It's like Metallica.
Fade to black.
The damn thing's still there. Like, I turned it on, I turned it off. And then I played with the mouse. I jiggled the mouse.
You could just guess who's on a line.
I pressed the space bar.
I can't even click on the line to do
see it.
Right.
That's fun.
I can't even click, computer age. So basically everything we do here is on computer, right? Half the sound
Correct,
effects.
yeah.
But certainly grabbing the phones as far as punching up so-and-so and talking to them. But my screen's gone.
Yeah, if you're on hold, hang on, man. We'll try to get to you. What do you say now? Take a break?
Yeah, let's just take a break.
Let's see if we can figure this out on the backside. Our question, the weirdest thing someone I know does is blank 206-421-ROCK, maybe.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
En Lowe's tenemos grandes inventarios disponibles en cientos de productos que los profesionales necesitan todos los días, como tejas, concreto, madera y más. Y ahora te los entregamos al día siguiente directamente en tu obra. Empieza hoy y ordena en línea o visita el mostrador para pros en tiendas. Disponible de lunes a sábado en artículos selectos en inventario solo en el área metropolitana de Charlotte, sujeto a disponibilidad. Para pedidos hechos antes de las 4 p.m. Más detalles en el mostrador para pros.